to Sneakers and Stogies. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite YouTube Disneyland Strange here. And I got a special guest with me. Someone I ain't seen in a minute. Somebody, that's been working hard and hardly never not working. The golfer himself, Renoir.
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up?
Welcome to the show.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me, man.
Now, today is a two-parter season finale, season 3.
Cool.
But before I get into that, I just want to talk about all the shootings that's happened. Before I get into the real gritty of the show, because honestly, I wanted to do an episode last week because everything was so too tense, actually. And I want to send my prayers to the families and the friends and even the connections of people who have lost someone in these multiple mass shootings. Because we even had one yesterday. And I'm like, at this point, just regulate the guns. But I really and sincerely want to send, my prayers and my condolences to everybody who's lost somebody in these last few weeks, or in general this year, the mass shootings. And this is where I wanted to start the show. Okay. So I just wanted to get that out in the air. But, ladies and gentlemen, like I said earlier, it's a two-parter season finale. What up, H-Town Wise God? Welcome to the show. Luckily, today is the one day we don't have a stogie because Renoir here decided to bring a hookah to the show. And when you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the hookah and everything. I hope you brought some more tips. Pause.
I thought you were smoking a stogie.
Oh, use it. See, this is why you don't have guests on the show. You know why? Because you always have your own motherfucking tips. Pause.
And it's funny.
Talk to me.
I haven't bought tips for this hookah in almost 2 years because I have that BYO keychain hookah.
Oh, yes.
And so, if I ever have tips for people, I'm like going through old bags that I bought to like parties. But see, that's why Houston people have.
Ha!
Houston people always got a hookah tip on.
You have to have a Houston tip, a hookah tip if you're from Houston, because you never know what club is charging for the hookah.
Or what terrible guest you gonna have that don't.
Or for sure, whatever terrible guest you don't have money to pay for the hookah or put in. Yeah. So I'm gonna smoke the hookah too, but just to try it, because like I said, I'm a guest on the hookah and the drink. Tell them the drink you made.
I got us some good old Claude de Chatelier. BSOP. Yeah, it's gonna pull.
Oh, it's a different hookah.
Oh yeah, and then just some regular Langer's cranberry juice from Specs with some lime juice. So
okay.
What kind of lime juice you like? But I got put onto the drink a long time ago, and when I say I really don't like any other cognac cocktail, this is it.
Oh snap! H-Town Wise gotta say straight up, you always have to have a tip somewhere.
Exactly.
I definitely agree. But this is really an impromptu show because, like I said, I had multiple topics planned and multiple things happen. I'm away. I'm sorry, I'm too close into the screen, but
good.
Oh yeah, it's good.
And so I'm gonna make a video one day, and I'm gonna post it everywhere. The best way to get your hookah to blow properly, burn properly, you gotta get your cheesecloth bag. You have to strain your shisha.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody be putting it in napkins and pressing it, but it gets it too dry. I put the cheesecloth bag, and then I get on a chopping board and I cut up the shisha and make it fine until you stretch out that.
Oh, stretch out the smoke?
Yep. But you stretch out your shisha so it lasts longer.
Of course. But no, that was a good smoke, and the drink is actually phenomenal. But since somebody didn't think I was going to be prepared, I got my pipe today, and I got one of my favorite cigars from the Dominican Republic. I don't have the label on me, but it's been on a past episode, so I'm just going to smoke it out the pipe today because I don't feel like, cutting it in. Not today. Not me.
Awesome.
So, I know you've been busy, and we're going to get into you right now before we get into the nitty-gritty of the show. Okay. So, your shoe. Take one off. You bringing me some Air Jordan 1 low bread. What year did you get them?
So, funny story. My cousin Sean Roeder, he lived in San Antonio. He was a sneakerhead back in the 90s.
Oh, he's
an OG. Like waiting outside was a safe thing.
Yes, and I can relate.
And so he actually gave me these in 2014, but if I could actually look up when the ones released, I'm pretty sure they were early 2000s.
Yeah, because that's a rare shoe.
Yeah, and so he gave it to me. As you see, I'm not the best sneakerhead.
Of course.
I try to use my shoes.
I mean,
I've probably done a kickflip in this one.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I've done a kickflip in this one.
You wear the shoes. You're not a hype beast, so I'm appreciative. If you don't mind if I can check it, I can tell you the year.
That's what I was about to say. I'm pretty sure it's
yeah, it's early 2013, so 2014. So yeah, 2013 release. It's still a great shoe by material and everything. And
I need to get it restored a little bit.
I mean, honestly, the only restoration you really need is right here, and you can do this easily. So still a great shoe. Yeah. See, I wish I'd have known my guest had some ones, because I'd have brought out a pair of ones as well. I'd have probably brought out my Olympics or my hair, the original hair, so just to bring out some flair.
Yeah.
But you golf.
All my life.
All your life. And I know you still golf, but in comparison to how you used to golf, because I haven't played golf as a young kid, so terms are a little different. I don't remember what you don't do.
I got you.
The legality and the terms and everything. Yeah. But didn't you go to TSU and play golf too? Or?
Yep. I graduated from high school in 2013.
Okay.
And originally went to Oklahoma West.
Okay,
I played out there for a year and a half.
Okay.
And just wasn't feeling the vibes. Too far from home.
Fair.
Took too much to get home for holidays, and I always wanted to be in Houston. Okay. And so I was like, let me look at some stuff and talk to Coach Hank. Shout out to Coach Hank for giving me the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But I transferred in 2015 spring semester and never looked back.
Never looked back.
Never looked back.
So let me ask this then: you have a story of one of your best games by any chance?
I would say it was actually my last year of golf at TSU, so 2017. I graduated 2018, but I did 5 years of school.
Of course.
And so came back from summer break, and that fall semester we went to the Black Hall of Fame College Golf Tournament in Atlanta. And that whole summer I was working out at Palmilla Beach in Port Aransas, Texas, literally waking up at 3:30 to get to work by 4:30, had a 45-minute drive, and I would work from 6 to 12, get off, and practice from 12 to like 7 o'clock at night, make it home at 9, out of the golf course all day. And I came back feeling like completely like a different man. Like, that golf course that I practiced at it was a pretty tough course. Arnold Palmer design, whoever knows out there, whoever that, he was an old design. He actually came out and drove a Cadillac on the first hole and played the first hole in a Cadillac convertible, so it was pretty cool. But that golf tournament, I felt like I was so locked in, and it was funny, the first group that I got to play with, I asked them, what won this tournament last year? And they was like, 2-3 under. And I proceeded to shoot 69 that day, and then proceeded to shoot 1 under the next day, and ended up winning the tournament. And I think that was my last collegiate win. 2017 senior year. Yeah, it was a different feeling. There was if anybody knows what par 3s are, they're the shorter version where you hit the green in one. It was a 212-yard par 3, and I think in the 2 days that we played, I was a combined total distance of like 7 feet from the hole. So I birdied it 2 times in a row, and stuck one to 3 feet, and stuck one to like 4 feet. And so, yeah, it was a different feeling that day when you just feel locked in. Mm-hmm. Like LeBron in the finals, like just I couldn't do no wrong. Like the ball went where I wanted it to go. So
that's a blessing, and honestly, the reason I invited you, besides we've been trying to plan this for so long, but no, it's not just your fault. Like, for those who don't know and those who are regular watchers of the show and the YouTube channel and everything, for right now, like I said, this is a 2-part finale. So my college roommate, who's also doing film and stuff, will also be on the second half of the show. But I'm taking a break so I can finish cooking all the workout. Because I have so many videos that everybody's missing out on, and I just haven't had time to stop. And then with everything that's going on and all that stuff, and when you see the YouTube videos, you will see my explanation of why everything has been like a roller coaster. Yeah. But the reason I wanted to have you on, because a lot of sneakerheads, in a sense, also play golf. And there's a lot of great shoes that are also golf customs.
Yes.
And so I wanted to learn more about the game itself, Cause I ain't played in years. I got a whole set of clothes I have to use that are catching spider webs and dust and all that. But it's just something that I wanted to make more relatable. Yeah. And I want just not to get the sneakerheads and the stogie addicts on the show. I want different avenues of entertainment. So any avenue that makes sense, I would put on the show. And I want to diversify the show, honestly and truthfully, because of the fact, like, of course, my co-host and my executive producer and everybody's busy, so I still have to do the show on my own. Yeah. And I respect everybody's time. But at the same time, I still got to keep the show rolling. Yep. So I wanted to diversify my guests and diversify their platforms, so that way, and when y'all do something, y'all can do something and it works in y'all favor, and y'all have the experience of the show.
I love that. Like I said, I really appreciate you for having me here, man. He's a great guy. I met him when I first got to TSU through my roommate. Shout out Coop.
Shout out Coop, man. Jeremiah Coop.
Yes, sir. And so ever since then, this is a person, you, Cordero, Toki, everybody's been people who, I love to be around, look up to. Y'all are a great group of people.
Thank you.
Great group of people.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Because you never know who you're going to meet and what they're going to do in life. So that's the key thing. That's the one thing I always try to tell people on the show. Like, when you have guests and everything, I'm sorry I'm guessing myself. I'm trying to get comfortable while smoking pipe and trying to reach the
Oh yeah.
But
now I'm a hookah hoochie, so you got
not a hookah.
You gotta remind me.
Not a hookah hoochie. That is a new word that I will not coin on a shirt later in line and sell you and give you the shirt for free later down the line. The world might never know.
I will hog a hookah, and every time I go out, no matter where I'm at, if I only got $35 in my account, that $35 gonna be split. I am not sharing with nobody unless it's my girlfriend. That's about it. Yeah.
And at this point in time, before we get into the real nitty gritty of the show, you can give your girlfriend a shout out.
Shout out to Bae. Follow her on the IG at __ DAANDRAA. She is putting out some good content, growing her IG page like crazy. I think we looked maybe 2 nights ago, and in the past month, she's grown like 18,000 people.
That is amazing.
I don't know what happened, but hey, I told her, baby, keep going. I'm behind the camera.
Exactly.
Try as best as I can, because I'm not a photographer at all.
Hey, photographer right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But I understand, she edits and you shoot.
Yeah.
So that's cute. Like my creative director Channing is also with his girlfriend DC also shoots and they both model and shoot, so it works together.
Yeah.
So that's cute.
She's trying to get me to get in front of the camera. But as you remember from my graduation photo shoot, I am not a camera friendly person in front of it. I can be behind it, but the camera don't love me.
Same. I'm the same way. I don't like being in front of the camera, but yeah, I'm shooting a whole podcast.
Videoing is different.
It is so different.
It's much more fun. It's much more fun to be in, streaming and all that stuff. But them photos, when it gets you your still image, you're like, yeah.
No, I can relate. So let's get into the topic of streaming then, since you brought it up.
Okay.
So my co-host Cordero, Thanos Primal for everybody who knows him. He has his own streaming channel. I have my own streaming channel as well. Okay. I just honestly, when the shooting happened in Buffalo, I stopped using Twitch because he did the live stream on Twitch, and I was always from Twitch and then uploading to YouTube.
Yeah.
So I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna cut out the middleman. I'm just going straight to YouTube streaming. So that's why a lot more of my game content is on YouTube and Twitch now.
And I want to do that too. My favorite streamer is Tim the Fat Man. He made the big switch on the purple platform, and I got a lot of advice from people that were like, it's kind of tough to get people to come to YouTube and to get those things, but I hear a lot of people leaving the platform, and I kind of just wanted to get started.
No, I understand.
And so I was just like, you know what, I'm just go by me, because PS4 you can only use that PS4 camera to stream. So I was like, I'm finding a way. And it had the YouTube on there, but I had already had a couple following on Twitch, and I was like, let me just get started. And then once I can get my people to go with me, because like I said, I'm always on YouTube looking at y'all stuff, looking at other people's stuff. So that's definitely what it came from. Sure.
And that's the thing, my former teammate is on. What's up, D? You missed the shoes. Low key, you missed the shoes we had on. We had some low key fire Jordan Bread ones. But no, honestly and truthfully, I started streaming I started just recording gameplay footage when I had my PS4, but I didn't have all my streaming footage until devices until last year when the pandemic really was big.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck it. And since it's you want to see the show the shoes?
Gotcha.
We're showing the shoes one more time. From 2013, 2014, fire low bread ones. You don't see them often. But no, honestly and truthfully, you don't see. I'm trying to put this politically correct. At that time, it was like I started the show 2 years ago, and last week was the 2-year anniversary. So I said I'm streaming gaming and Cordero's streaming and gaming. I was like, fuck, we just gonna put the streams on there as well, past streams on there as well, and rack up video counts. Because at this point, we just want everybody to enjoy the content.
Yeah.
And he said, oh wait, you're wearing them? He said, oh, hey.
I beat these.
He beat them, but they still look fly.
Yeah, I would probably wear these 3-4 times a week, either to go get groceries at the car, or to run errands, or to go to Prospect.
They're your go-to shoes.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, honestly. But no, I've seen that you started streaming on Twitch, and I'm actually proud of you because at least you know you're streaming, you're doing something else to take your mind off of work.
And that's kind of what it was, man. I had a conversation with my girlfriend. She's very supportive, and she plays Call of Duty as well.
Ooh!
So that was the high key selling point right
Low
there.
key, we gotta get her on the show.
For sure, yeah. And she was like, why don't you just try it? And I was like, I don't know. I'm very risk averse and too analytical sometimes in my life to take chances, take risks, or just start new things. And I was like, you know what? I sit on this game 3-4 hours a day. Why not try? Even if it's not to, I'm not trying to make $1 million and become a big streamer like Ninja or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But just like it makes the game totally different. You get a lot of flack when people see CTV and clan tag and they're like, oh, you think you're? I'm like, bro, I'm doing this for fun, to conversate, build a community,
exactly,
meet new people. It's definitely something that does relieve stress after work. It allows me to see what I can do as far as, I'm not a technical person as far as editing and stuff.
Of course.
I'm trying. And it makes it way more fun. It gives a different aspect of the game. You're just sitting there and getting drunk.
And just playing the game.
Yeah.
No, I completely understand because that's what we started doing. Like once we got the Fortnite and everything, Rocket League for me, Apex. I do almost all of the fighting games. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things because I took a long break after Street Fighter 5's disappointment. Shout out to the trailer for Street Fighter 6. I'm waiting for that. But after the disappointment of Street Fighter 5 and just the success in Dragon Ball Fighters, I took a break from fighting games and I just started playing Fortnite and different other games, and completing trophies on PS4 Call of Duty.
Man, I downloaded Fortnite when I was staying in G4. I played that game 20 minutes and uninstalled it.
But now you're playing Warzone.
No, I've been playing Call of Duty since 2009 original Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
That Call of Duty, that's all I play. If people want to see other stuff on the stream,
but I'm telling you, like the way that Warfare is, with the Battle Royale there, it's basically Fortnite on the extreme.
Yeah, it's the original.
There's no building, so I kind of.
That's what it was. Now I said I was gonna give it a shot.
You should have.
They took out building. And building was, I was like, yo, I can't click a button.
I'm gonna tell you like this: Zero building is a better game. It's a way better game.
I thought the building was just too much.
When they took, I'm not gonna lie, when they took out building this past season, that the season was about to end in a couple of days, it made the game way more interesting because you have to really think on your feet. Yeah. And you have to conserve everything that you have. If you don't, you will lose.
Yeah. And I heard Apex was beat. My cousin.
I played Apex.
He also streams as well. Shout out to the Lone Frijole, Frijole.
Oh wow.
His name is on Twitch, the Lone Frijole, and he's a beast at Apex. He's been like, bro, he'll come and play Call of Duty with me every once in a while. He's actually the reason I started playing. And I only played Modern Warfare. I know Black Ops 2 was a GOAT. I know this. I know those.
Hold on. D, give me 1 second. I know you're playing Fortnite right now. Give me 1 second. We was on a good track until you said that shit.
I'll put it like this. If you put Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War, and Vanguard, which one do you think is the newest release? If you showed a person and showed them the game and they're like, which one is the newest game out?
Honestly, if you showed a random person, they would most likely say Vanguard.
I think they would say Modern Warfare.
I disagree because they had a new trailer for Modern Warfare.
No, I'm saying if you showed a person like just gameplay. I think Modern Warfare has always been the more complete package. Presentation, home screen, load up screen.
Well, see, that defies your argument because you're talking about more recent games. But if you want to go take a step back into like when we were playing on 360 and PS3, then you take the argument to the original Modern Warfare 2, which was glitch heavy, but which would make the game even much more amazing. The disappointment of Modern Warfare 3.
Oh, I love Modern Warfare 3. The introduction of 1v1, 2v2.
No, that was fine, but the actual gameplay itself was lackluster in comparison to Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
Black Ops 2, still to this day, is my favorite.
I sold Black Ops 1 and Black. I actually didn't. I gave them to my little cousin, and I continued to play Modern Warfare 4, Modern Warfare 2. Well, not Modern Warfare 4, but Call of Duty 4, and Modern Warfare 2, and then I played Modern Warfare 3 probably all the way up to 2020 until when that Christmas my girlfriend bought me a PS4, got me Black Ops 4.
Now see that I see why you hate Black Ops, because Black Ops 4 was a hit or miss. If you ain't played 2 or 3, then it's not.
No, I played them. I played 3 on her system.
Okay.
But it's just, I guess I don't like the futuristic gameplay of Black Ops 3.
Well, see, that's
and
why I
then
like
Black Ops 2 was very arcade-like. Like, the camos, the dot sights. I just think Modern Warfare has always looked like a more complete game as far as like the guns, the customization, like.
But see, that it still defines your argument.
Nah, I know everything started on Black Ops with the token, and you buy camos, you buy the new red. But when they did it on Modern Warfare, it was like, okay, this is our beta, and then now we have the alpha product.
But I mean, you have 2 different companies releasing the game on a yearly schedule within each other.
Yeah.
And when you break down that argument in comparisons to what everything does, Black Ops 1 came after Modern Warfare. I want to say 2. Yeah, because Black Ops 1 was a phenomenal game because it took you back.
Yeah.
It gave the story more depth.
Yeah.
You want to talk about stories like Nuketown, zombies, guys.
So that's another thing. I've never liked zombies. Yeah.
We're cutting the show early.
I'm taboo to the Call of Duty culture. I've always been an S&D guy. I'm the guy that gets on the game specifically to play Search and Destroy to talk shit after every round.
And I respect that.
That's it.
Look, I respect that as a human being.
Yeah.
I respect that. But even then, with the Search and Destroy, you have Team Deathmatch.
That's my warm up. I play 1 game of free for all off cam.
Of course.
And play 2 games of Team Deathmatch.
Of course.
And then I may stream Search and Destroy. Even to make it better, I'm a Rebirth player over Caldera. Now, when Verdansk was in, I would play Battle Royale. But the pace of Rebirth is very Search and Destroy to me. Every push is a 1v6 in my head.
Okay.
And Search and Destroy. It's like, if I'm going to Granny's house, I'm going in there, and I'm going to go upstairs, pop out, I'm continuously moving. So it's like, I don't know how to put it. I guess I never had also a community with me that liked to play.
Oh.
I had guys in high school, we would get on Twitter and be like, hey, we logging on at 6:30 tonight after school, and we would have lobbies where we would invite people talking crap at other high schools. We're like, okay, so you drop in, private map on Rust.
Yeah, of course.
We would set the kills to unlimited.
Of course.
And so one person would get in, whoever got the 15 first on that team would swap out, and then the other person gets in, and once that person who was the original person, once he gets 15, he's out. But see, we did something similar with Black Ops in the sense of Nuketown, because Nuketown was a small map as well. I don't even know. I love Nuketown is good. I will say that.
Nuketown is good. That's all I want.
The games are good. It's just, if I had a choice to play
one or the other,
like, I hated World at War. I just don't like the old style arcade of the game.
So I wholeheartedly agree with you. We can agree on that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the overall, format and everything of Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 and all that stuff, I'm sorry, Black Ops. Modern Warfare 2 will always be the greatest.
Yeah, and the intervention, bro. I used to get nuked all the time with pistol and tactical rifle.
Oh yeah, of course.
On Terminal, I would go stupid.
Terminal was beyond ridiculous in its prime.
Yeah.
So I'm really skeptical about this new Modern Warfare 2 that's about to come out, because I don't want. And then you use the Modern Warfare moniker so many times within the last 15 years.
Remastered.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm scared to take that risk with this new one.
Yeah.
So I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I think they're definitely listening to the community, because this last update where they now you can see how many plates person has. You can see what perks they have. I mean, not perks, kill streaks they have. There was a video, I don't remember the guy's name, but he literally created his own interface as he was reviewing the game and telling developers, like, hey, this is something y'all should put in. And they literally damn near did 75% of what he said in that game. So I will say, you know, they are definitely a money-making company. They will always put out stuff, but I have a strong feeling, especially now that Tim the Tatman's backing this game so strong. He's in one of the advertisements put on the stream today. He's in one of the advertisements, so hopefully that they're listening to their top streamers who, you know, helping them make money and understanding what they need. And like he said, you're not probably gonna play Warzone until March. You know, it's coming out October 28th, which is gonna be the basic multiplayer campaign, whatever. And I actually do hope they take their time with releasing Warzone because it needs to be a complete product.
I'll say it's Warzone the more recent, you know, battle royale. So I'll say this, and honestly, I had Warzone when it first came out, but it took up too much goddamn space.
Yeah, I didn't get into season 3. Like I said, I didn't get Warzone until 2020. I think it was season 3. I got it PS4 on Christmas. Played Black Ops 4 for a while, man. I think maybe January or February, but I bought Modern Warfare, and I'm so addicted, bro. Like literally, once we leave from here, that's probably what I'm gonna go do.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I don't want you to get it wrong. I respect Black Ops 100%. It was just I was just so engraved into the Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and Infinity Ward as a company compared to Treyarch. I prefer Infinity Ward. They're to me they're the GOAT of the developers of those games.
See, there we go. Oh, what up, LB? Shout out to Jakari, a former guest on the show. Hello, LB. Hello. Hey, Damo's mom is on the show watching as well. You know, I'm happy to see her on the show. But so let's go to another topic.
Okay.
So, music.
Yeah, that's a big debate that I love to talk about.
So, a lot of albums came out within the time of this, you know, the 6-month mark of the year. And I have a few favorites so far. But I want to hear your opinion. And I know you might put Future on there. Thank God. Because Future's album was mid. I'm going to say it right here, right now, live and in person. Future's album was high grade mid. And I was unbiasedly listening to it with all the Drake features.
Yeah.
Mid. But whose album, what's your top 5 for the year, in your opinion?
So, I want to make a disclaimer for everybody that's watching and that's hopefully going to watch. I am taboo on every topic that we could probably talk about.
Okay.
I don't listen to albums. If it's Kendrick, of course.
Of course.
And J. Cole and Kendrick are my top guys.
Okay.
I listen to it great. You can hear me bumping country at one stoplight.
That's fair.
If you follow me to the next one, you might hear some heavy metal.
That's fair.
And then jumping all the way back to the rap music. So it's like, I haven't really sat down and digested somebody's album probably since the Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, that's
And damn.
2017,
like,
okay.
to actually really sit down and digest the album, and maybe J. Cole's last album. So it's like, everybody's stuff that comes up now, like if you look at my Apple 2021 playlist, I got songs that I played more that are from early 2000s than I do. Like I'm a habitual listener of old stuff.
Okay, that's
so new albums. I will say I really enjoy anything that J. Cole has put out.
So you haven't listened to Kendrick's album?
Not fully.
My God.
Not fully. No.
Oh my God.
I haven't had the time, and when I do, but that's the thing is when it's somebody like that, I do want to sit down for that hour and 30 minutes at the house, you know, clean or something. And I haven't had that time to fully digest. Now, I heard songs here and there, yeah, but I need to sit down and do that because that's somebody that I really do appreciate.
I'm gonna tell you like this, in all honesty, Kendrick Lamar album that drops is something that we need right now, spiritually.
Yeah.
And especially my favorite song is not even really a song, it's an interlude. Savior interlude is actually one of my favorite songs. Savior interlude, Crown, Savior, United in Grief. Those are probably my top 4 songs.
I need you to send me that. And that's what I also like to do. I like to listen to, if you ever look at the Apple playlist, I listen to the starred one first to see, okay, if this is what everybody's listening to, why are they popping me so much? And 95% of the time, every time I do that, my favorite songs are the ones that are the least liked.
See, so that's why, and so it's funny, you're kind of accurate to what I do. So I go through and listen to the entire album. If it's a favorite artist I like, I listen to the album because I don't have album music. I just actually buy the album or download the album from Android.
As we should.
As we should, as a human being. You don't, and Apple Music is a high price scam, but that's not here nor there. But I see you're getting the artist their review, so that's fine. But in all honesty, I'd rather just not have anyone's opinion. I want to hear stuff. So I listened to Kendrick Lamar album full through with no skips, and it was a beautiful masterpiece of art.
I feel like the man can't fail. That's just me.
No,
all the way since Good Kid, Mad City, even before that, Section 88, bro, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm still going back and listening to Section 88.
Oh,
like, to this day.
I like the leaked version of when the DJ released with all the tracks that he never put on the album.
Yeah.
So, and then Untitled Unmasked was one of my favorites.
Yeah, and it I feel like if you ever hear, conspiracy theories, I do feel like there was a dimension shift in 2015 because I don't feel like movies, I don't feel like music, TV shows, nothing is being released the way it does. But Kendrick and J. Cole, when they do sit on something by themselves, it brings back that summer 2015 nostalgia to me.
Oh yeah, of course, because I remember summer 2015. You had Big Sean's "Dark Skies Paradise."
Yeah.
You had, I forget J. Cole's album, but you did have "To Come to Butterfly." You had Tyler the Creator's "Cherry Bomb." You had
that's those three right. Probably gonna blow people up, but those three right there are to me the best, and I'm gonna say the best rappers to me is Tyler the Creator is one of the most underrated creators and innovators and developers of all time.
Damo did that. You heard that. We have another Tyler fan here. Cause I saw him live when he was here.
And that's my biggest regret.
Oh no! I'm gonna tell you a story. I had just came back from grieving because it was my grandfather's birthday. It was good death. I was grieving his death, and I drove back to Houston for a job interview, and the tickets went on sale that Friday before my interview. I bought them tickets that day, and the concert wasn't until March.
Yeah.
So I literally bought the tickets that day. I sat on them. The app deleted from my iPhone. Download the app and everything. I went there. I spent more than $200 for tour merch for everybody else, including myself. Sat there in a high-ass spot in the Tyler Center and knew almost every word, every fucking song because he went from the new shit, the shit that just released the weekend of, to the classics, and I was vibing.
He's gonna give you a show. When I say when a person can bring Charlie Wilson out of the woodworks for multiple features, like y'all, people don't listen to that. Like I get where people's standpoint is on Drake, and I know people love him.
Yeah.
But it's a difference between a person who can go in the studio and literally play any instrument that he needs. Yeah. Like people don't understand that. What was his album? Igor.
Igor's a phenomenal album.
That he recorded a lot of his soundboards and things that he used in the attic of his house, well, the top floor of his house.
Oh yeah.
And it's like the stuff like that is like, okay, you're an artist. J. Cole, the man goes platinum with no features.
No features.
And it's like, he's not talking about popping bottles.
And
then when he does, it's still a banger.
Bro.
And I'm like, I get it, Drake. I get it. Drake is the curb appeal guy. He's the marketable guy. He's the good-looking guy with the big house, fancy car, But it's just, I just think that he's not in my top five. But I will listen to Drake songs left and right. Chicago freestyle, like amazing.
I agree with your statement, your premise, but the end I cut off that. But I don't listen to Drake.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's like I have no choice. He's in the song and it's a song with somebody else that actually is performing way better than I was too. But other than that, I don't care.
I like when Drake doesn't try to be a king. Chicago freestyle, his what was it? October's very own album when he was, I thought Drake was gonna be an R&B rapper.
See, that would make more sense.
And when he does that, when he taps into that soul side, Marvin, like I feel like that's when he shines most.
I can agree.
His other stuff, his team stuff, and
so let me ask you this. So that means you haven't heard Tyler's album full album, now, have you?
No, not yet.
Oh my God.
Not yet.
I don't care what you. I love Kendrick, and honestly and truthfully, I love Kendrick's album. But Tyler's album, Call Me If You Get Lost, if you're ever on, and I'll tell you like this, when the album came out, I was in California. I was on the road.
That's a vibe, man.
So I was on an entire vibe. So when the album dropped, I put it on my phone and just listened to it and tuned out everything else.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I almost cried. So we're gonna take a quick break because the camera died. Live, you're still on. The vlog, you're still on. But we're taking a break on the YouTube side of things, so we'll be right back. We're still live everywhere else. But no, continue. So for everybody who's checking in and who's not watching the live on YouTube, you were telling us about your Goblin story. So
yeah.
continue.
So
I ain't want to be rude.
I was listening to Goblin in my grandma's SUV. She let me use it to go to Young Life meeting. Very
two different parallels.
Counterintuitive to do. And I left it in there. So she gets in her car the next day, goes to the store, and I think Yonkers is playing, bro.
Wait, the full version or the?
I had the tape, like.
Oh, you had the full version.
And so she was like, "Boy, I'm gonna tell you, G, like we about to go get you an exorcism." Da, 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 da. I'm like, Grandma, it's music, it's music. Do not dive too deep. Your son is not in the back room doing cult rituals, like. But I just like him and like how you can go from a person who releases something like Goblin
and
to
Goblin Bastard,
to
Flower Boy,
like to Flower Boy. It's like it's crazy.
And so, honestly and truthfully, I want you to give that album a full listen through. And honestly, I wish you, so he released the song before the show, and it was supposed to be on the album, but he said 2 songs that was supposed to be on the album, the original, but didn't make the cut. And so Fishtail came out later, and then the other song, I'll send it to you after the show, of course. Oh, my brother's on. What's up, JT? But no, honestly and truthfully, when he added the extra song into the Houston show, because he just came from New Orleans, and it flowed with the entire show, bro, that album was phenomenal.
He's another one I feel just gonna miss.
Like, he don't miss, and he takes 2 years to the day, ironically, because Igor came out 2 years after this one. Flower Boy came 2 years after before Igor, so everything was 2 years apart. But if you notice his albums, besides the 10th track, everything after Cherry Bomb, he's either had Wayne on one album and Kanye on the other.
Yeah.
And so this one has Wayne on it. So I'm waiting on this next one to hopefully have Kanye on it, because honestly and truthfully, Tyler, Kendrick, and Cole are 3 artists that truly don't miss.
Yeah.
But honestly, Pusha T had a great album this year. That was a good album. I told one of my friends about Pusha T album, like, Pusha T still has something left in the tank.
Oh yeah. Because those are true artists that don't. Not trying to get back on the Drake thing. One thing I say, Drake has a great team behind him. He has people who definitely I feel help produce these albums. Versus a person like Pusha T or a person like Jay-Z, they come in, they orchestrate their album. They're like, this is what we're doing, this is what I want. This is the mindset that I'm in during these time periods of what's going on in the world. Like how J. Cole, what was the album where he dedicated damn near the whole thing to his friend's daughter?
I know, that's actually my favorite album. I know.
Like that's a crazy thing to just be like, I'm gonna make an album that I'm not gonna release for another year. I'm gonna dedicate this to somebody, and it's still gonna be a banger. Even if people don't understand what I'm trying to do, I know my following is still gonna understand. And he makes great songs. Like that is what I like versus people who now just like, I need something to play in the club so I can get my song played. I need something that you can bang in the car when you on your trap stuff. And then maybe I'm gonna drop one love letter song. But I feel like that's what Drake does over and over again.
It's a repeated cycle.
Yeah, and it's like there's no album development.
Fact.
He changes his style of rapping with the Jamaican thing or whatever he was doing, going back to the Canada thing. Saying, like, I get you, he's from Canada. Yeah. Respect to that. But it's like, I just feel like you're trying to change your style to sell albums.
Exactly.
That's what I want.
So, and another album this year that I actually appreciated, and I didn't know how much I appreciated, and I'm mad at the person who was here, was Action Bronson.
Yeah, I do like a couple songs I have. I never listened to the full album, but
I'm gonna tell you like this last, Only for Dolphins was really good,
okay.
And his mixtape that came out after that was really good, but this last one, Crocodilo Turbo, really, and I might have said it wrong, and I do apologize, is really good. And it's really good because it's like you're taken into a whole nother dimension.
Yeah.
So it takes you out of your regular life and puts you in a place where you have no idea where you're going, but you're just here to vibe.
Right. So that's the best album where they can put you in a different world. different headspace.
That's why I say you need to listen to Tyler's album. It will take you across the world. I'm gonna just say like
do that.
You need to listen to that album.
Yeah.
So music was the one point I really wanted to hit at, and I'm glad we hit that. I don't know if you've been following the NBA.
No, I'm not a sports person.
But you play golf.
My dad always said, well, I watch somebody be great when you go practice. My dad he watches Venus Arena, and if Tiger's not playing on Sunday, I'm not watching.
That's fair.
So, but I do understand sports, and I understand how. I actually watched Jimmy. What's his thing on YouTube? Jimmy.
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't think of that. I know you're talking about. I can't think of that.
Yeah, but he released a thing about how wild these playoffs are. Like how Jimmy Butler is like popping off right now.
Oh,
like doing stuff like he's playing at
before he got limited.
Yeah, before he was playing like at Jordan and LeBron playoff level like numbers, like 33 points a game, like doing stuff that hasn't been done in almost a decade. Besides LeBron,
of course. Yeah. But I'm glad, and I speak from my personal experience because I am a Celtics. Don't get me wrong, I'm from Houston, but I'm also a Celtics fan. Don't get it twisted. I've been through the good times and the bad times. I'm not a bandwagoner fan at all, so don't play me. But needless to say, I feel like the Warriors are gonna win. I'm a realist fan. Yeah. I'm one of those fans that I know what to expect, like the Cowboys. So I could say honestly, if the Warriors don't win at 6, it's gonna be Boston instead. That's my honest opinion.
Just because you said that, I'm a tune in.
Because
I always said I wanted to get into sports because I definitely want to try to sports bet. But
see, lucky for you, I can't. For a lot of people who don't know, I work with a football team. I'm not gonna say the name. Y'all can figure it out on your own with all the stuff that I have on shows. But needless to say, I can't do sports betting because of the team. But even then, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, and the team that I work for know what team. I'm a Cowboys fan, so
that's a funny conversation.
Oh, funny story. First day I got the job, we had our team meeting and everything, and they said, "Tell one thing about yourself." First thing I said, "I'm a Cowboys fan." Day one. So
who hired this guy?
Who hired me? But not even that. I'm one of the best mobile ticketing people. But even still, when the Cowboys come play at the stadium, that's the only time I'm really gonna stay. And I say that to say this. I enjoy a good thought out game because it's like playing chess.
Yeah.
So when I watch basketball, it's basically like a strategic game of chess. And you're picking your pieces and you're playing them correctly.
Right.
That's why I'm saying like Celtics in 7. But if the Warriors don't get it in 6, it's Boston in 7. In my personal opinion. I'm not taking that bet because I feel like shit's gonna happen in Game 5. And the world will see if something happens in Game 5. I called it. But it's the point that if it goes past Game 5, that's my prediction. So
I will say that is one thing that they've been on top of. I mean, not on top. I know they've lost.
Of course, Golden State's been on top for it.
That's insane. And you know what's funny? Me not being a sports person, of course you know about the Bulls, you know about the Lakers, you know about that.
Oh,
I had no idea who Golden State was until that little run that they had.
Oh, really? See, that's crazy, and that's a plot twist because honestly and truthfully, I grew up watching. I watched Jordan. I can say I watched Jordan play. Like I had a guest that I'm sorry it wasn't on the live episode, but we talked about we watched Jordan play, and that's why we became sneakerheads in its entirety. I watched Pippen when he was even here in Houston. I watched those games, and then watching Kobe, and seeing Kobe with my friend Marcus. Shout out to Marcus. When we drove to New Orleans, we actually saw Kobe in person. We took a picture with Pat Riley in New Orleans. And I still had that picture on my Instagram further down, but just being around the atmosphere of an actual like two All-Star weekends, and meeting celebrities and meeting them in a natural setting, and they're actually nice and welcoming people. It makes you more familiar with the sport. Yeah. So that's why I appreciate not just watching. I get what your pops was saying because pops plays football, so I kind of understood. I understand.
That's like his biggest thing was like he could sit down and watch Serena and Venus play all day.
Yeah.
But our family, my mom's side, is diehard Cowboys. Oh. Every Sunday, our pastor is like, hey, we're not going to be in church that long. The Cowboys playing at 10.
Facts.
So I was always around it, but I was, always around my pops.
Of course.
And, my mom, she would go down there and hang out with her sisters and watch the game and stuff like that. But I just never got into it. But I would say I could definitely go sit down and watch an Astros game. I can go watch the Texas game or whoever. But on TV, I just can't sit down in front of the TV that long.
Oh,
unless I'm watching, Supernatural or something.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but I want to ask you a question though.
Go ahead.
The GOAT conversation. Don't have to dive deep into it.
Which GOAT conversation? Now let's be specific.
The only GOAT conversation that I feel you can have based upon numbers.
But I mean, with sport though, because that's what I meant.
Basketball.
Okay, basketball.
So I was watching something that the guy Jimmy posted. Do you feel it's fair, based upon the timeline, how quickly Jordan got everything done in the 13th season? Is it fair to call somebody the GOAT? Granted, longevity is a feat in itself. This is about 19 seasons, 19.
I mean, 20 this year coming up.
Is it fair to say that somebody has amplitude of time with the development of medicine, development of physical, nutrition, and everything, keep people playing longer? To call somebody the GOAT just because of longevity, you know you're gonna pass his numbers if he keeps it up at the rate of 37.
So let me take that step back. Let me take it a step further. Now, like I said, I'm a 90s baby. I'm an early 90s baby, 91. So the 2 years that Jordan took off was the 2 years that the Houston Rockets actually won the championship.
Right.
So, and then when the whole last dance happened and he took off, those were extra years that could have been added on to his legacy.
Right.
And the only reason I will honestly say that Jordan, in my personal opinion, and I know people will come at me all sideways, Jordan is the GOAT in my opinion.
Forever, right?
Forever.
Yeah.
Well, forever from the day I was born till now, my 31 years of living.
Right.
I'm not gonna go back into the 80s and the late 80s and 70s and stuff, but I want to respect those players in their time and what they did. But when you put the comparison of Jordan and LeBron, you have to remember three key things. One, Jordan damn near stayed with the Bulls and they built the team. They basically picked, the only person they really traded for was Rodman and a few others. But Rodman was one of those ones that you traded for and you knew he was getting something great out of it. So that's fine. LeBron went to Miami to win his first ring.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, yes, Jordan didn't go to the finals in his later years, which is understandable because he was getting old. But even still, when he went, every time, clutch.
And that's my thing is with the LeBron Jordan argument. Jordan let the team be orchestrated around him. LeBron plays GM, which I think screws him more.
Excellent.
Two.
Oh, I need my third point.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, finish.
So the third point, and welcome to the show. We're talking about sports right now, but the third point that I want to make between Jordan and LeBron, in my personal, honest opinion, is I agree with I was going to say the GM point, but you got to think basketball in its time frame. At first, super teams wasn't a thing, because you got to remember when Chris Paul wanted to go to the Lakers, they made sure he went to New Orleans instead. Yeah. And so with Jordan and the Bulls, it was like how Golden State is now. You pretty much picked up everybody, and the only reason y'all got the ring with KD because he went to the team after Golden State beat him. Yeah. But even more so, everything was set up to the point that as long as you had your key players, you was good. It's sort of like the Cowboys thing. Yeah. Like the Cowboys will never be the same again because Jerry Jones just apologized to Jimmy for messing up the team later down the line. But and I'm bringing it back to say that when you have a perfectly good team structure, everything will fall. Yeah. So, and that's what I feel about Chicago. But continue your point. But because I'm gonna say Jordan's the GOAT over LeBron, even if he wasn't a great.
I'm agreeing. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the reason I bought in longevity is because it goes back to the Tiger Jack Nicklaus issue.
Yes.
Tiger has done stuff in a time span that can never be matched. The man was number one for I forgot how many weeks. 258 weeks. It's never been done. Two, the time span that he did it in is like, okay, this man won 52 tournaments in 1 year. Some greatest of all time golfers win 5-6 tournaments in their 20 years on the tour. This man did it in 1 year. Yeah. And it's like, I think how fast somebody does something sets precedence over longevity, and that's where I feel like the LeBron and Jordan discussion gets dumb to me because it's like, well, shit, if I had 27 years to do something, not saying he's gonna go 27 years, but LeBron had at least 5 more years, total 25 years.
I think after Bronny comes into the league, I think he's retired. But I see your point.
But he can still play though. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
well, it's sort of the Tom Brady effect. Like most of the rules in the sense of the argument of the league are changing the format at first.
That's my biggest thing. If you have a 6'8", 6'9"?
Yes.
He was 260 at one point. Now he's 250.
Yes.
And the game is getting softer and softer. Like I hate when I know people hate when I do this at the barbershop. But if you put LeBron with the Detroit Pistons, he's not balling like that. He's not balling out like that. Like, well, against them, not on their team, but against them. And the things that Jordan did against the rules and the way the game was played at that time,
especially how gritty the game was.
That's all I'm saying.
The game was it's the same argument with football in a sense, because if you take it a step back and you think the 90s era, the 90s was the Cowboys dynasty. The 2000, you could say the 2000s and onward was basically Tom Brady, and everybody else was following suit after that. Whoever didn't, Tom Brady didn't get in, then whoever else won was winning. Yeah. But it proves the point that, like, there are a lot, even though the technology is changing and everything, like, the quarterbacks are being way more protected now than what they were back in the day.
Which is a good thing, but
it changes the whole fundamental rule of the game.
When I got 7 seconds to look for a route, and you're the best, how many teams are in the NFL?
32.
I'm 32 of the best throwers of the football in the world.
Right.
I'm gonna find somebody.
Exactly.
I'm gonna find. That's what I'm saying. Is it's the same thing with the game. When I can't touch you, when you're 6'9", it takes you like 10 steps to get across the entire basketball court. 6'9", and you can literally dunk in your hand at the top of the shot clock. Where do we really call a scorer a scorer?
Exactly.
Like, I'm grabbing rim in 8th grade at 5'7".
See,
it's like I think that's what it is with me watching basketball. It's kind of the same thing I say about golf. If you ever watch the U.S. Open compared to any other major, the U.S. Open is where I can qualify to go play. I can't go play in the Masters unless I'm a top-ranked junior in the world. I can't go play in the Players. I can't go play at the PGA Championship. So the U.S. Open allows people to go to U.S. Open qualifiers around their local area and qualify to play this tournament. But those courses, year after year, are set up in the hardest conditions that pros complain when they get there. And you don't see people going 22 under, 16, 18, 12 under wins those tournaments. And it's like, I would love to see basketball at a 12-foot goal.
Fact.
When you make it to that level, like, I want a 120-yard football field versus 100 yards in college and high school. Like, I know it's a dumb argument. This is coming from a person who doesn't watch sports.
But you know the analytics and the technicalities of the game.
And I'm like, y'all are this much better because between college and NFL is leaps and bounds.
But that's the same from high school to college, though.
I think there's some some high school teams that'll whoop some of these college football teams.
Well, but it also, now with the NIL, it makes a big difference, too, because now you're getting players that are coming to more smaller schools trying to get their names made instead of the big schools buying them out and doing it in secrecy. So I kind of agree with your initial argument.
Yeah.
But the twist and the point that I have is that I agree with your U.S. Open premise because that really made sense. Don't get me wrong, back in like the 90s, you could walk on. You could, walk on teams, you were really good, you made a good practice squad. Then, hi, Domo.
Hey, Dom.
Hi, Domo. Welcome to the show. Your mom was on earlier. But, needless to say, when you made your premise and your point to detail what they're exactly doing, then it makes the conversation much more intellectual.
Yeah.
So I see your point. Because at the end of the day, when we go back, and we double back to the Jordan LeBron argument, it's like, there was a way more aggressive time.
Yeah, it was to me, that's basketball. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but even the NBA Finals and playoff scores over the past years have hit record numbers. Like, you're dropping 133 points in a playoff game.
It's sort of like All-Star Weekend.
It's like, how many open shots can a person have? And I get, shooting techniques and the three-pointers being way more valuable since Curry came through.
Facts.
You got big men who can shoot the three now. But it's like, I just don't understand, like, how people have the conversation to be like LeBron. Now, LeBron is a GOAT.
Yeah, a GOAT.
A GOAT.
No dispute about that.
The man can play the 1 through 5 position and dominate whatever he puts his mind to. But as a player-to-player, skill quickly somebody does something. Because we love to put up stats. You know, the youngest to do this, the youngest to do that. And then when we start talking about the GOAT conversation, we forget to put time frame into the aspect.
Fact.
And it's like, why does that all of a sudden forget to be got when y'all talk about it in every other thing?
No, I definitely agree because when you think, but and also you gotta remember the decade they played in.
Yeah.
Because every decade was a different decade and a different era of dominance.
Yeah.
Because you gotta remember, right when Jordan came in, it was Magic and Bird.
Yeah.
So
he broke that down to why Bird is not one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time.
I can relate. I can understand that. But to bring back to the overall point, it's basically like saying Tom Brady's the GOAT because he has so many rings, but when you think about when he got those rings, I respect the man that came in one of the last few picks of the draft.
Yeah.
And, you know, coming into a team and coming in with one of the best defensive mind coaches to help with the offensive scouting. And even then, I'm going to still continue on the vlog camera, but we're about to take another break and we'll get right back to it because this is a very interesting debate and I'm glad we're running it deep. And so, hold on, and so we're back. We're getting to the last part of the show. So this sports debate ended up being one of the best parts of the show that I was not prepared for, but it was a very intellectual part that was needed. And so, and our debate, and your points were very valid because I'm not going to disagree. Like, in the overall longevity, not only of the game and the sport itself, it made so much sense when you put the GOAT comparison to Jordan and LeBron. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they're both GOATs in their rights. Yeah. And
he's definitely the GOAT of the
oh yeah, of course. Like, because the only reason why people take Kobe out of the conversation in that instance because Kobe's game style was basically Jordan's. Yeah. That's the only argument. Like, when you're talking about like the small guy that can actually shoot the ball and, you know, take it up and need to do when the job needed to be done and that have rings, your argument becomes, when you bring Kobe into the conversation, you can honestly cut him out because it's like, no disrespect to Kobe and his guy rest his soul. But it's like his game style was basically Jordan. Yeah. So when Jordan retired, finally watched it, it was like, there you go. And the only team in its entirety that actually was the most slept on team is the Spurs.
Oh yeah. I have a Tim Duncan rookie card with a piece of his rookie jersey in the trading card somewhere close. Oh, my dad got to play with him, Kevin Garnett, and some other guy. Like I said, my dad was a sport guy, but he knows who Tim Duncan was. He knows who Kevin Garnett was. Randomly was in San Antonio for a job. He worked on the franchise of AT. Where the headquarters was, where we got a lot of the supplies from. So he's like, you know, I got an extra 4 or 5 hours. I'm gonna go to the Dominion. And he's playing by himself. And he catches up to this group, and he's like some of the tallest golfers I ever seen. So he comes up to the hole, and he's like, hey, you guys mind if I play through? And so him knowing who Tim Duncan and Kevin was, he was like, you know, I'm gonna act like I don't know him. And my dad teased off. He's like, you know, you guys mind if I play with y'all? Because there's only 3 of them. And he's like, you mind if I play with y'all? So the whole time, maybe 4 or 5 holes, my dad said he was like, I didn't say anything to him. He was like, I was acting like another black guy around with another black guy playing some golf. And
there you go.
Like, you guys are pretty tall. So my dad, you know, he was good. My dad, he used to be a scratch golfer. Hold his own on the golf course as well. And so they got to like the 6th hole that they were playing together. And I think Kevin, as you know, Kevin Garnett, he's very, of course, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. He's like, so, my man, you ain't gonna say nothing. You know, he like, what you mean? He's like, you know who we are? He's like, I think I seen y'all on the TV somewhere, but I can't. He's like, man, I know who you is. What's up, Tim? What's up, kid? Like, he all over. I'm like, that's crazy. I was like, you really played with him? He's like, got a picture right here, baby.
That's a beautiful story.
And Tim had a card with his rookie jersey, a piece of his rookie jersey in the card, and gave it to him. I gotta find it though.
You have to find it because that's a story that, thanks to the subscribers of the show, nobody would ever know. Yeah. Because honestly and truthfully, I'm a sneakerhead, and one of my dad's favorite possessions, besides a lot of the football players, just use and everything that we have. Yeah. But I have Ricky Williams also from Texas, and Derrick Johnson, he played as well, and family, you know, football players as well. But we have gold embroidered cards Michael Jordan, all the years he won a ring.
Oh, that's wild.
Like, and they're still in a deadbolt safe.
Oh, yeah,
Sitting on luxury.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, it was, at that time, we was like, we're not messing with them. Like, these are more worth any of my Pokemon. These are not be any of my Pokemon cards. Anyway. Yeah. These cards are so valuable, it was to the point that I wouldn't even sell them because I lived through those moments.
Yeah, the value is more tangible in the memory than it is for the dollar.
Exactly, and so that memory alone is a tangible moment because of the fact that your dad got to play golf with two of the greatest players of their time. Yeah. That is a phenomenal thing, and I don't think people understand the gravitas of both Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett. Like, Jesus Christ, that is.
Kevin is probably one of my favorite players, even though I don't really watch it. I'm a demeanor person.
Okay.
Like, I love Tiger. Tiger didn't care. Tiger, granted, obviously we see he didn't care about a lot of things, but I like a person who can sit on camera. One of the greatest Tiger moments is his second year in golf. He was coming to the tournament, and I think it was Brendel Campbell, one of the reporters who was blowing up golf channel, asked him. He was like, "Hey, how do you feel about your odds?" He was like, I feel like I can win. I feel like my game is there. And the guy chuckled. He was holding his interview card. He chuckled. And he said, "You'll learn." He was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "For you to come out here and expect, your second year on tour to come out and beat these guys, it's kind of cocky." 20 years later, it's like, I knew what I got. Like,
he made him eat his words.
Yeah, and it's like, I love it. I feel like Kevin was the same way. It's like, I know what I got. I know who I am. I'm not going to come on a court and automatically put myself at a disadvantage. And I kind of feel like that's how I carry myself as a person. I think I always relate to different athletes and different, pillars of whatever community they're in, whether it's business or life. Always believe in yourself before you let somebody else diminish your own talent, your own self-belief. So.
And there you go. There it is, right there. Because honestly, only you know what you can do on the field or the court. Or the course relating to all sports.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't understand it. It's just, I never thought, and I take a step back. I take a step back from the entire conversation that we had, because of course we get rid of Coach. I ain't gonna hold it too long.
No, you good. Yeah.
But
having fun.
And that's what the show is, really to have fun. But you never know what you're gonna do in life until you actually do it.
Man, that's one thing I have to stop preaching and start doing.
I mean, honestly, truthfully, do you know how the show started? For those who are Sneakers and Stogies listeners and Sneakers and Stogies watchers, and subs that also check on the show, we're gonna give you a quick course on how the show started. May 27th, which was the 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a funny day because 10 years ago to that day was my first day leaving Houston to go to Alabama for my national internship.
Right.
And then I also celebrate my 5-year anniversary of losing my dog, my dog Batman and Robin, and finding them later. But that was the day I lost them. Okay. And so when I started the show started because Nike had a pair of shoes that were very nice, and the hype beast ruined the market. Uno came out with a new rule, the bounce rule, which made no fucking sense.
You gotta explain that later.
I will explain that later off on the vlog camera. And I ordered a pizza from Pink's Pizza, and they left it on the door at Cordero's old apartment over there. Yeah. And it was leaning, and I put it on Twitter, and my pizza was literally on the south side. It leaned, and it was just scrunched up like me on the couch. So I was like, I needed to rant.
Yeah.
And so, literally and truthfully, I had all my music equipment. I think I had this computer or a different computer at the time. And I said, you know what? I'm just gonna make a show and rant. Lord and behold, 2 years later, I'm still doing the show with a whole different idea and making it go and streaming with it as well.
That's why I tell people, man, if you just have an idea, I think people get caught up in the minutia of starting stuff. And like I tell people about fitness, it used to be in great shape, but I hate when people want to start something and they're like, well, I need this, and I gotta track my macros. I got 1 million less calories than I'm used to just start. Just go. Just get in your car and go.
Exactly.
Get in your car and go to the gym. Get in your office and just turn the stream on. Don't go out and get the best capture card, the best camera, and the best PC. Like, just do what you need to do to get started.
Right. Because it'll all come later.
It'll come together. My dad always said, the people will come when you put the work in. Don't try to get attention before you put the work in.
Right.
Sit in your craft and just work. As long as you're working, your due diligence will pay off.
Exactly.
Your due diligence will pay off.
I think that's an important motto, not just for us as professionals in our own lives, but also what we do in our other lives. So I put in more time. Like, people will say, I don't go outside anymore because I'm working on the show.
Yeah.
And I honestly take a step back and think, like, that's why I think all my guests, even my guests that haven't came on yet, because doing the show in its entirety, I didn't do the podcast to be famous or anything like that. I just do the podcast to take the load off of what I'm going to do in life. Because life brings you lemons, and you gotta either make lemonades or you're gonna stick lemons in your eye and burn your eyes out. Right. And so, in its entirety, and ironically, season 3 in itself, everybody, including yourself, and I feel like my roommate for the part 2 of the show, all made great points of pushing not only their craft, but what they do in their entirety, and that's the importance of keeping the show around. Because honestly, I don't care if I make money from the show or not, but it's just getting people an opportunity to speak their voice. Because normally, and probably one other guest, I would say, have only came on to me doing an impromptu show with no script.
Yeah, man, I love conversations like that. I just like to talk.
Exactly, and that's what maybe the show is basically people getting their points across and just sitting back and just listening and taking different perspectives. Like, I've had people that have done movie work from California on the show. Y'all missed that episode, it ain't out yet. I've had artists on the show, fashion designers on the show, that DJ. I've had many people, come on the show later down the line after I built the show up. But when it comes down to it, I just want to give people a platform to speak.
And I would say in our community as Black people, not trying to go on a political tirade.
Go ahead. We do politics too.
I had a pool. Well, I didn't have a pool party, but my community at my apartment, we had, Memorial Day pool. And there's a group of people that I sit around with, and we had a conversation of, Black relationships and Black women. And I've always had an idea to get a safe space where Black men and Black women can come and talk. And I feel like that's what we're doing now. Even if something as baseline, sneakers and sports and just life itself.
And Stogies, do not forget the Stogies.
Oh yeah, and the Stogies, baby. We gotta create that more, because I feel like that's where us as a community having a very big disconnect. We don't talk. We love to shout and common shouts.
Exactly.
And I feel like if people have that platform, it's like, well, I love what you do. You allow people to come in and be themselves and not push the narrative.
Exactly, and that's honestly what I do this show for, because at the end of the day, a narrative's going to be pushed regardless. But it's up to us as the creators and as the people to change that narrative. Like, honestly and truthfully, like I said, I appreciate every experience I've had with these 2 years doing this show, because honestly and truthfully, I've been in a dark place. But the show reels me back in, and I have to turn me off and turn the other me on.
Yeah.
And so, when it comes to the show, I am very appreciative, not only of the guests, not only of my host and my co-host and my executive producer, who is allowing us to do the show here. Shout out to Damo. But at the end of the day, it's more of it's therapeutic.
Yeah, very.
It's very therapeutic.
This has taken a load out. I hope this isn't the last time. I
No.
Very, even if I'm just sitting over there on the side, like I said, conversations are what need to be had. People's opinions need to be said without feeling of condemnation, like, oh, you're gonna be judged. Like, no, like, the Black community is one of the most silenced communities outside and inside.
Right.
We speak up, but we speak up with filters. And I want people to be able to sit and say something controversial, but allow the opposite side to talk to you and then you rebuttal back. And it like, for example, like everything that's going on with shootings, you know, the decline of black marriages and everything, man, we just need to talk. We just need to talk.
Exactly.
And allow people to talk. Because I feel like as soon as somebody says something, it's like, nobody wants to hear anybody.
Facts.
And it's like, you have to be accepting that people are gonna have different views. I'm not gonna, me specifically, I am the most unpolitically correct person. I will say what's on my mind, whether or not it's what the society should accept, but I also am gonna sit back and hear why I'm wrong or why I'm right or why you disagree with me. And I think that's what's not happening. People are trying to be like, no, you're gonna think how I'm gonna think, and I'm gonna fight you over it until you think how I think. Instead of just, okay, I'm not gonna agree with you, but we're gonna come to a common ground. And I feel like gun laws, relationships, whatever it may be, like, that's what's not happening. Like, people are trying to be like, this is the way it is. And until this happens for what we think, we're just gonna fight against y'all instead of sitting down and talk, which what is supposed to be what Congress is about.
Don't get me started with them.
Yeah, because I have this whole theory that I'm like, how do you have two people who completely disagree on what they think? You expect them to work together. They have two completely different views on life.
Facts.
And they get into office by arguing other views. But then you expect them to work together.
Exactly. Like, how does that work? And I guess I'll take a deeper twist on it. Like, Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Like, it's been precedent for 50 years. We've got, and it's more so for the women's rights.
Right.
Than anything.
That's the only thing it should be about.
And honestly, you have more men trying to control women's rights than the women. And I'm not saying the women aren't doing that. That's not what I'm saying. Don't misquote me on that. I'm saying there's too many men trying to think that they're thinking for the women instead of letting the women say what they need to be said and allowing them to express their point and actually have an honest debate and the reasons of why you want to do this. Because at the end of the day, you're affecting millions of people by doing something so egregious that you're setting us back 50 years.
Yeah.
Or even if you want to go to Samuel Justice Alito's opinion, 500 years. But that's neither here nor there. But I see your point.
It's like a guy. You ever watch Louder with Crowder?
No.
So Louder with Crowder, he did the series.
Yeah.
Of what like whatever it is, changed my mind. So like, I'm pro-gun, I'm pro-choice, I'm pro-abortion. Changed my mind. So he actually did a little segment where he goes, I think he's based in Austin.
Oh.
And he goes out and he asks people about the Roe v. Wade, and like his original series was, do y'all even understand what's going on? Because it wasn't that it was a complete takeaway of the right to abortion, but it was to give it to the states.
Yes, and
my biggest thing is, if we're the United States of America, why is all of a sudden these past 4 or 5 years it's all about, well, let's desegregate the law, or decentralize the law, and now give each individual state the choice to do what it wants, while, for example, marijuana. Why is it that a guy in Texas can get 10 years or something, but I can go to Colorado and get 3 I want? To me, that's insane.
No, it's honestly, if you want to go into deeper detail with that, it's even more insane when you think about why the laws were created in the first place.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, and I'm not the most politically correct person either, but I listen to commentary now and then just take my mind off of everything else. It's like you have more freer states, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have more freer states with certain regulations coming to more liberal states, more conservative states, and still getting fucked off because they're so used to the state they were in.
Yeah.
And then when you are here, like for example Texas, where it is so conservative, it's like, well damn, other states are doing it way better, but I see their prices are going up, and everything is like an inverse within itself.
Yeah.
And so when you think about like politicians and lobbying, it's fucking up everything even more. Like there's so many little like jabs that are fucking up the main central point. That if you took money out of politics, a lot of people's views would be different.
Yeah, that to me that's literally what it is. It's like why marijuana was bad first place. Think about it. Not everybody can go and produce cognac in their backyard.
Facts.
Right? But a 12-year-old can grow a marijuana plant.
Oh, yeah, that is.
So, to me, the government feels like, I can't make money off of it because everybody can do it, so I'm going to cut it out.
Exactly, and even then.
It's like, I feel like that's what they do. If they can't make money off of it, or if it helps them do something to change a point that they're trying to get into society, whether it's economical, social, whatever, they're going to do their best to keep them in power.
Exactly, and that's the thing that's fucking up the country now. That's why the country is so divided now within the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Well, the division is more prominent in the last 8 years than it has been in the last, 20 or 30 years. But I see your point. Because at the end of the day, and this is the last topic, of course, for the main show. If you want to see the rest of the show, you follow the YouTube channel, like, subscribe and everything, but the vlog camera will be still going. But to make the point clear, it's like how certain states, even neighboring states, are way better off with less crime, with less division, because certain laws are way more loosened than when you're having people that are locking up people just because of the littlest thing.
I will say, I give it to the politics. Politics is not easy.
Of course, it's never easy.
But
I got a show that you need to watch that Jules enjoy.
Yeah, I love. Like I said, I'm on YouTube all day. So Netflix,
HBO Max.
Oh yeah, got that. Yeah.
Okay, watch Beat. Beat. B-E-E-P.
Okay.
It's starring Elaine from Seinfeld. I can't think of her name right now. Oh,
I watched Seinfeld, but that was a little bit before me.
But you remember Elaine, the female character. I can't think of her name right now.
I think she one of the main?
Yeah, she's one of the main. She's the main character. She has her own show. It's Beat. It's basically her as vice president.
Okay.
And it's basically showing her, and I'm gonna give y'all a short summary. It's basically showing her whole transformation and what she did to end up later in the end becoming president. And all the laws that they had to either filibuster, change, and you basically politics within itself, and predicting politics within its actual timeline before shit got real. Yeah. And it's funny because everything that's happened now was in Beat 5 years ago. Yeah. So, and that's just a common thread just to explain the point. But honestly and truthfully, the conversation we're having is basically that show. Yeah. So I'll give you that recommendation.
Yeah, definitely, because I need something to watch. So.
Oh yeah, Beat 7 seasons.
I'm into shows like that.
If you like a show that, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it starts off roasting. It's a show that politically roasts.
Which is good.
It shows.
You get on people's butts.
You get on people's butts, but it's so fast that if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those good shows. But we're about to continue the second show. So live, we're cutting off the live. You got any last words for the people on live?
Like I said before, man, if you got an idea, just start. You don't need to sit down and congregate with people to generate the idea. Start with what you got, because that's what's going to keep you pushing that idea forward. Your own self-belief, believe in yourself. Us as black people in the community, we got to come together and start having these tough conversations that we don't want to have, because we got to fix ourselves before we ask somebody else to come in and help fix us.
Facts.
So, and then last thing, if you mind if I put my Twitch up in so follow me on Twitch. I stream Modern Warfare, Warzone, Search and Destroy. I'm trying to grow it, trying to get to affiliate. I'm only 4 away.
Oh, that's good.
It is RENIOR 888 as in the number. And that's also my IG, but just without the 888 _ RENIOR _.
Just text it to me and I'll put it on the thread.
Gotcha.
So my last words is, we celebrated 2 years of the show, and this is like the first half of the season finale for the show. But SLF, I'm giving them a shout out, had a phenomenal Memorial Day weekend, to the point that I worked media, and so if you watched the reels and you watched the live, you saw some of the weekend, but you ain't see everything. So check out the official _ SLF page to catch the rest of the content when it comes out. I'm editing that while I'm editing the show. And so this is your favorite YouTube villain signing out, Landon Strange, and my favorite guest here, my part 1 season finale guest, Renoir. I said it correctly with the French accent, of course. And we are signing out. You're